Someone provokes you today. Maybe it's a word, a look, a dismissal, something small enough that you almost can't name it. And you feel it rise, that heat behind the sternum, that urgent, almost righteous need to respond. Here is the truth you were never taught. That feeling is not power. That feeling is a leash. Whoever made you feel it is now holding the other end. The person who reacts loses, not because they are weak, but because they handed control to someone else the moment they opened their mouth. This video is about one discipline, the gap between what hits you and what you choose to do next. That gap is where your entire life is decided. Let's talk about what it really takes to live there. In the 1st century AD, Epictetus taught philosophy in a small room in Nicopolis, Greece. He had been a slave. His master once twisted his leg to demonstrate control, and Epictetus said calmly, "You will break it." The leg broke. Epictetus said, "I told you so." That story is not about pain tolerance. His master expected a reaction. Fear, begging, rage, anything that confirmed the master held power. Epictetus gave him nothing, not defiance, which is still a reaction, nothing, a calm observation. And in that nothing, the power dynamic reversed entirely. Epictetus later wrote, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by their opinions about things." If your reaction is always yours to choose, then no one can truly touch you unless you let them. The question is how. That is what the laws are for. Law 1, the reaction is always the message. When you react visibly, immediately, you broadcast something. You tell the room what reaches you, where the nerve endings are. Think of a negotiation. One side makes an offer the other finds insulting. The one who shows it exhales sharply, tightens the jaw, has just told the other side exactly what to press. The one who receives it with a quiet pause and says simply, "That's not where we need to be," has given away nothing. Your reaction is intelligence. You are handing it over for free. Start treating your emotional response as information you own and choose what to do with it. Someone is always paying attention. Law 2, composure is not the absence of feeling, it is the mastery of timing. The Stoics were not advocating numbness. Epictetus felt the pain when his leg broke. Marcus Aurelius grieved his children. Seneca knew fear. The difference was never whether they felt it, it was when they acted on it. There is a pause available in every situation. A breath, a beat of silence before you commit. Inside that pause, ask one question. Does responding right now serve me? Or does it serve the feeling? Most of the time, the feeling, so you wait. You let it move through you like weather. You don't suppress it. You simply decline to act until the timing serves you. The person who speaks first in silence is almost always losing. Law 3, being baited is a choice you keep making. There is a specific kind of provocation designed to strip your composure. A pointed comment in a meeting. A passive dismissal timed to destabilize you before something important. If you take the bait, it works. Not because the other person is clever, but because you handed them the mechanism by reacting the same way you did last time. Epictetus called it the discipline of assent, pausing before you grant a thing power over you. You see the provocation. You name it internally. Someone is trying to move me. And then you simply don't move. Every time you don't take the bait, you win something they cannot see, evidence that you are in charge of yourself. That evidence accumulates. Over time, people stop trying. Law 4, silence shifts the weight. You say nothing, you hold still. And suddenly the other person starts talking. This is not a trick, it is physics. Human beings are uncomfortable with unresolved silence. Most people rush to fill it, revealing far more than they intended, defending positions they didn't need to defend. The composed mind uses this not through manipulation, but through presence. You simply refuse to fill the gap. You hold the silence the way a musician holds a rest, deliberate space that gives everything around it meaning. In conflict, the first person to speak breaks under pressure. In negotiation, the one comfortable with silence extracts the most. Let it work. You don't need to help it. It already knows what it's doing. Law 5. The composed person changes the room without trying. When a truly composed person enters an escalated situation, the temperature drops. Not because they demand it, because composure is contagious in the opposite direction from panic. Human beings co-regulate. Our nervous systems read each other. Marcus Aurelius presided over Rome at war, through plague, through betrayal. His private journals, the Meditations, were never meant for publication. They were a daily practice of returning to center. And because he held that center, the people around him could function. Every room you enter has a temperature. You are either raising it or lowering it. Your baseline emotional state shapes every interaction before you say a single word. Train the baseline. The room responds to it, whether you intend it to or not. Now here is the turn, and it matters. Everything so far could be misread as a strategy for appearing strong, for performing composure as an image. That is not what this is. If you practice non-reaction as performance, it will crack. The mask breaks at precisely the wrong moment. The real discipline is not about how you look to others. It is about who you actually are when no one is watching. When the provocation comes with no audience, do you still hold? Epictetus didn't stay calm because his master was watching. He stayed calm because composure was the only thing his master could never confiscate. Non-reaction is not a social strategy. It is an internal architecture, built in private, visible only by its effects. You build it alone, and then it holds you in every situation you'll ever face. The gap between stimulus and response is not something you find, it is something you build. One decision at a time, one pause held instead of broken. It doesn't look impressive. That is exactly the point. The composed person never announces their composure. It announces itself in how situations resolve, in how little energy they waste on things that were never worth the cost. You will be provoked again, probably today, and you will feel the pull to match it, answer it, extinguish it. In that moment, remember, the reaction is the leash. The pause is the key. The quiet mind does not simply survive the chaos around it. It outlasts it.